Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Good to see everybody in here. Let's get to the top here. Ah, looky there, chicken banana number one in here. Hello, PG. Hello, my day day. All right. How you doing, my day day? Um, Miss Justice, you are number two. Number two in here. Much love, PG. Much love to you, girl. You know it. Hey, Sissy, aka Silly Rabbit. How you doing tonight? You are number three, girl. Hello, PG. We are Summer's Army. Amen. Always will be. Absolutely. God bless. I appreciate that. And Jasper, you are number four. All right. Hey, PG in chat. Hey to you, hon. God bless. Much love. Good to see you in here. Hey, Patty Allen, how you doing, sweetie? Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. That's beautiful, Silly Rabbit. Absolutely beautiful. And let's see. Amen. Welcome, early birds. Absolutely. Hey, Lizzie, how you doing? Robin, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you, Miss Justice. 1111. I knew you'd be up the top here somewhere. God bless you. And let's see, Isla, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Hello to you. Deputy Sheriff, good to see you in here. God bless. Much love. PG's little girl, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Much love to you, too. You know it, girlfriend. Absolutely. Let's get down through here. Georgia Wild Child, there you are, sweetie. Hello, 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 hello to you. Good to see you in here, hon. Good to see all of y'all in here tonight. Hey, Biggie, how you doing, honey? Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing? God bless you. Let's see. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Good to see you guys. Lynn, Carmen. Let me see. Angel Girl, Melanie. I'm trying to get as many as I can. Hey, Candy, how you doing? I got it right tonight. Got it right tonight. How you doing, sweetie? That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Purple and blue hearts. Absolutely. Prayers for all the missing children. God bless you, hon. God bless you. Hey, Minnie Pearl. Girl, I love that name. I really do. I love that name. That is really cute. That's absolutely cute. Let me get down through here. Granny's house. How you doing tonight? Good to see you. Brown Eyes Blue. How you doing, sweetie? There's D Hicks. How you doing? Good to see you. Good evening, PG Mon Chat. Much love. Many blessings to all. Summer's Army. Purple hearts for summer. God bless. Hey, Wendy. Spread love. I seen you, girlfriend. I didn't miss you. I seen you sitting there. Hey, Vivian. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Angel Girl. Hello, hello, hello. God bless. Congratulations on your marriage. Hey, girl, I appreciate that. God bless. I appreciate your support. Amen. And does our daddy know? Yeah, had 10,000 plus children, right? Boy, will he be surprised. No, I ain't told him yet. Can't spring something like that on him all at once, right? But I guarantee he gonna be surprised when he finds out. Hey, all right. I got super stick out. All right. I appreciate that. God bless. Purple hearts for summer. Amen. Hey Rhonda, how you doing, hon? And let's see. Roxanne, I hope I got you at my nada. I did now. Glad to be able to be here tonight. Hey girl, we are so happy to have you. God bless. All right. Angel P says, hello at PG. Much love and prayers. Hey, girl. Much love and prayers to you and yours as well. God bless you. Stephanie, good to see you, Mama. PG, PGOA, PGOA, PGOA. There we go, girl. She's like, PG, say that 5 times real fast. Hey, girl. Good to see you in here. God bless and much love. All right. I'm gonna just start in tonight. I'm gonna just start in tonight and because supposedly I know that this was a while back, but I didn't really think about it until now. Um, hey Molly, good to see you, girlfriend. Good to see you. God bless, much love to you, Molly. Yeah, I love Molly. I love Molly. I'm gonna tell you, she keeps my blood pressure up too. Right? She keeps PG's blood pressure up as well. I'd be talking to Molly. I'd be talking to Molly when she ain't even around. Right? Molly be doing some stuff. Molly be pulling some stunts. Like Evil Knievel. Or maybe more like Houdini. When I ain't looking, I get a surprise. I got my eyes on you in here tonight, Molly. I got my eyes on you, girl. Trust me, I got my eyes on you. Anyway, I was, until now, I didn't really think about this cousin that came out about Candus. But this particular cousin, sounds like a friend of Ziggy's, right? Put a one in the chat if you felt that cousin, sounded a little bit like someone hanging around with Ziggy at the time, because that sure did to me, certainly did to me. Well, this cousin, supposedly a cousin of Candus's, came out talking a whole bunch of stuff. But the funny thing about it is, when this cousin came out talking all this stuff, Ziggy was all in the chat. She was all over there in the chat. This all went down on Dolly's, and I want to give Dolly credit for this. If my mods could put Dolly's information, his channel, and give credit in the chat, I would so appreciate it. But this cousin went on to Dolly's talking about all the stuff that that seemed to come out of Fred's mouth, and Ziggy just happened to be in the chat egging it on at the time. She was right there, like she knew it was all going to be going down, and she was, like initiating it, and it sounds like this particular person that that I believe I do know who it is. It sounds like this particular person that was hanging around with Ziggy at that particular time, that all of this was going down. So I'm starting to think it was staged. I mean, but if it was staged, why? That's the question. If it was staged, why did they stage it? That's my thoughts on it. Because, okay, like when Ryan finds truth, had that person behind the scene, which I'm sure was his wife, right? And talking about being up at Don's house and all this stuff, and he didn't know crap about the house at the state of the house at the time they were supposed to be there. They only knew the state of the house after Summer went missing, what they had seen, in progress, on on the videos and so forth after Summer went missing. but they had no idea, what the original house was. At the time they were supposed to be there. So that tells me they wasn't ever there, because even I knew what the original state of the house would have been before, before at the time they supposed to been up there. I knew what the house would have looked like, and they didn't. So, that was staged, but I understand why that was staged, because, Ryan finds truth, wants to, he needs click, likes, and views. And, so, some people are desperate. Some people are desperate for, what they can, obtain out of all of this. Self gain, as you would say. But so I understand him, that's just everyday common sense. That's not rocket science. But and neither is, why Fred and Ziggy would have needed to stage this. That ain't rocket science either. I'm sure I can figure it all out if I just, think about it for a little while. I'm sure the answers will come, right? There's a reason for everything, I would say probably distraction. Probably distraction. They needed distraction from something, and I'm sure I can figure out what that something was as well. Over the next couple of days, I will find out what that something was as well, that they needed the distraction away from. It couldn't have been for self gain, because Ziggy didn't do it on her channel. She had the person, go to Dolly's channel and do it on Dolly's. So that tells me that, she wanted to keep it separated from her. And so it would actually obtain a bigger distraction from something. I'm just wondering what that bigger something was, for sure. But here's the cousin. I have the cousin here, and what was going down at that time.
Daughter had ran away from foster care for a little bit, but she
did.
It wasn't nothing to do with Candus, right?
No, it had nothing to do with Candus.
Yeah, okay.
We were still, as a family, looking for her, and it had nothing to do with it. And before that, our cousin Rose went missing, and then Candus's older daughter went missing.
Okay,
and then
wait, you keep saying we. Are you kin to the Wells?
I am.
Okay, who are you? First.
Now, Candus's older daughter did not go missing. Candus's older daughter was in foster cares and so forth. And, she ran away once, I heard, allegedly from the foster care, but she wasn't like missing as in Summer is missing. What I'm saying is she's a teenager, runaway that got found. She wasn't a 5-year-old missing, Actually, none of Candus's kids but Summer completely came up missing.
First, we know who we're talking to.
I'm her cousin.
Is your name just Cousin? Do you got a name?
Well, we'll just go with Cuz.
Cuz. All right, Cuz.
Yeah. All right, Cuz.
You on that bullshit?
No. It's all been turned into the
That's
TBI.
not bullshit.
No, I'm not talking bullshit. No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's all been turned into TBI. No. So we've had people go missing before on that side of the family, where we've gone up in arms looking for children, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden Summer goes missing. Like, what the hell is going on over here? You got 2 kids missing from the same mom.
Wow, is that right, Lockdown? That's right. A while back, they are talking about a she on an insurance policy. I'm wondering if that wasn't the policy on White Boy's Mod, Dee Dee. I think you're talking about Dee Dee. Somebody else asked me about insurance policy too on her. It's funny you brought that up tonight, because I've actually had a few people um asking me about this, about their like PG. Was there an insurance policy? So there's more than one person hearing something about some policy on this Dee Dee lady. Um, I don't know. I don't know, but I do believe there is a way you can find out. I believe there's a website that you can put the person's name in, and it'll let you know if there's any policies, any type of insurance policies anywhere under the person's name. I think that that someone created it. Somebody created it, and and all insurance policies, I believe, go through a website now, so that so you can actually check to see if anyone's got one on you. Um, so I'm going to look into that. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to find out if there's any policies out there on you. Um, I heard someone talking about that.
But
How you could check, how you can check to find that out. So, um, yeah, I'm going to dig deeper into that, because that's kind of weird that so many people are asking about this policy.
the word on the street, because we still have kin there, the word on the street, this summer was not the intended target there. This has nothing to do with them.
Somebody wanted to kidnap somebody, but they didn't want to kidnap Summer. But
No,
when
no,
they
no,
got
no,
there,
no, no. Let me lay it down for you. Let me lay it down for you. Okay. You can investigate this too. You can, as I speak.
okay, I'm gonna look up, see if they have a
cousin
cousin named Cuz first. That's gonna be my
listen.
first step.
Look up a dude named Spider. Okay.
All right.
He was arrested at 2:00 in the morning the day Summer went missing.
Okay.
And he was in a drug deal. Okay. He was arrested a few miles down from their house, right in Rogersville, Tennessee. He was meeting three people from Virginia. They were coming up. Okay. And somebody called him an anonymous tip, and he was busted. It wasn't.
I know all adults do not have life insurance policies. Sometimes there's a policy through your work that you can get, and some and I think like Social Security gives you like enough to buy a bouquet of flowers if you pass away. But I don't think, you know, life insurance life insurance policies are at your discretion. They're at your discretion. You can either have you can opt in or out when it comes to the life insurance policies. You can either have it or not have it. You can also get your own. It's like when you work a job. You can. It's up to you if you want, to pay full taxes or not. If you want to, health insurance or not. You want it through your work, or you want to, have your own outside, insurance that you pay yourself, so forth and so on. And you have to be working in order to have like health insurance through your job, and in order to have, to opt in on life insurance and stuff like that, you have to be working full time. You have to have a full time job. Sometimes it requires that you be full time for a certain amount of time, and so forth and so on.
The Wells that called him in, but the people they were hanging out with called him in. You can look this up. His name's Steven, and he goes by Spider. June 15th. You look this up. I'm telling you the truth. They bust Spider.
Okay, his name is Steven though.
Yeah.
And he was arrested June 15th.
Yep.
Of last year.
2:00 in the morning. No.
2 years ago.
2021. The day Summer went missing. I'm telling you. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. This is just like crazy. Nobody's listening to us. He was busted. He was meeting people from Virginia. Okay. A carload of 3 people. An anonymous tip called in. Spider had drugs on him. They busted him that morning. They were pissed off because it was intercepted. And it came back to 110 Gun Hill Road, but it was not the Wells who called it in. It was the Crawfords. And all of a sudden, Ricky gets killed the next day.
There's Ricky. All right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. There's Ricky. I'm sorry, lady. I don't know who you are. You know, I got a good idea of who you are. A Ziggy's friend that Ziggy was hanging around with at the time you went over there and did this. But I'm pretty sure it's you. But point being is, Ricky Crawford is alive. Ricky Crawford is well. Ricky Crawford's dad, Ricky Crawford's dad passed away after Summer went missing, but he didn't pass away the next day or right after. You know, he lived a while. He lived a while after Summer went missing. So you know, um, I can't. You know, other than the first one they found, after Summer went missing was Marlena Crawford's cousin. It was her cousin was found face down in some water. And I think that's who this woman's talking about. She thinks it's Ricky right here, but it was Marlena's cousin that was found face down in that water, not Ricky. It was another guy. So she definitely don't know what she's talking about. She don't know what she's talking about.
I'm telling you, this is
Which dude is Ricky?
true. Ricky's Marlena's brother.
Marlena is the one that's living in the homeless camp or whatever, right?
No, I don't know where the fuck the bitch is now. I'd like to know, but I don't know because she wouldn't be there. No, she's. It comes down to the Crawfords. I'm telling you, right?
John Wells says him and Candus are working on things and trying to get back together. I don't think you all split up, to be honest, Don. I don't think you all split up. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
No, listen to me. The Crawfords were the intended target. It was not the Wells. And in our hearts and souls, we believe with every fiber.
Yeah, but did they have a daughter?
Journey. Her name's Journey.
Okay.
They sure did.
So these people that busted on Spider, that you saying this is a retaliation, and some people have
Oh, that's
showed.
exactly what I'm saying. And the people that did it are in Rowan Mountain, Tennessee. And we turned this into the TBI, and nobody's listening to us. He puts on his Facebook, keeping stock and children, and he's all into like this Joshua. It's called the Isaiah House. He said we steal their kids and homeschool them, and this guy's freaking nuts out of his mind on drugs because he's a drug dealer.
Well, people are saying Ricky Crawford is still alive, but I 100% believe the Crawfords are involved.
He's dead. He got drowned. Nope, he's not. He's dead. Nope, they killed him. He's dead. He's killed.
So
I'm telling you right now, that man's dead.
So you're saying this? They done went and got Summer because of this drug he got ratted on for snitching.
It wasn't them though.
Yeah, but it was mistaken. They came there thinking it was the Crawfords, and they ended up getting Summer. Is what you're saying?
Honest to God, that's what we believe. And the only way it makes sense, if you listen to me, is her timeline is a lie. That's a big fact.
That is the crap that Fred Hill put a 1 in the chat. If you remember Fred Hill talking about some guy, Spider, and talking about, you know, this has come out of Fred Hill's mouth. This is all Fred Hill right here. And Ziggy was in that chat at the time this lady was talking all of this trash. You know, all of this Spider stuff came out of Fred Hill's mouth. And I'm going to tell you, I think it was a distraction. I think the reason that Fred and Ziggy got this person to go over there and do this as a distraction, I'm starting to understand, that, I thought I was going to have to go back and do some research as to, why they would want this to be a distraction. But now I'm starting to understand. Fred he was hoping to get the focus off of Summer and onto Marlena's daughter and off into another area that would eliminate him from everything altogether. Eliminate him from Candus coming down to his house that day to meet up with Chad Arnold. Eliminate him from what Cotton was saying about seeing, Summer in a box. And it would eliminate him, and he was wanting to be eliminated. Oh, so that's it. Yeah. That right there makes sense. That right there, perfect sense right there. Right? That makes perfect sense. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes perfect sense to you. Because at that time, he was, around this time, he was getting ready to get with, he was either getting ready or already had gotten with Ziggy. I think probably already got with her. At this particular time, all of that Cotton stuff was coming out on him, Cotton with Cotton Simpson passing away and everything. All of this, he really needed that distraction from everything else. To try to kind of get the focus off of him and everything's because he was getting a lot of support. Remember people was buying him, undies and undiroos and all of the stuff. So yeah, exactly. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense, right? And Don Wells is up on Ben Hill Road. He's up on Ben Hill Road, or at least he was today. Right, Donald? You're up on Ben Hill Road today. As of today, he was up on Ben Hill Road. So, yeah, that's where he's at. And Candus is there too. Candus is Ben Hill Road as well.
That lie. But the Wells, I'm telling you, Donnie and Candus are innocent as can be. They didn't do it. This is like, if you look at their timeline, her timeline doesn't make sense because it's not true. Her timeline, she left the home.
Lady, you are 3 sheets in the wind. You are 3 sheets in the wind. Why don't you explain how anyone, I don't care if it's Spider, I don't care if it's Spiders, I'm going to tell you, lady, there ain't no mother freaking mafia up there on Ben Hill Road, okay? There's no freaking mafia up there on Ben Hill Road. That's New York City, sweetie. It's a few other places, but it's not in mother freaking Ben Hill Road. Trust and believe me. They ain't no, and to be honest with you, the mafia is like a thing of the past. I mean, yeah, there's still, families living off the money because there was a lot of money that was left, from great grandpas and grandpa and all of these things. But, because the mafia invested tons of money into the stock markets and they had tons of money invested into casino, all kinds of places. And I'm sure their families are still reaping off of it, but they're not, like gangsters going around, like they did way back, like they were doing in the 40s and 50s, and before. So, that shit like gone. That's gone. That's way behind us. So don't tell me Spider has, these big guys and they're going to go up on Ben Hill Road and they're going to, we know where this kid's supposed to be. We're going to go up here on this land with these 500 dogs and we're going to snatch up the wrong one. And then we're going to be like, oh shit, we got the wrong one, boss. No, boss, I'm telling you, wasn't the right kid. It was all his fault. My fault? Wasn't my fault, Lenny. Yeah, it was your fault. No, it wasn't. Wait till I get out of here. When I get out of here, I'm going to come get you both. You made a mistake. You're going to have to pay for it. All right. Oh, hell, fuck no. Ain't happening. I don't believe this shit at all. Come on. Let's get real, folks. Let's get real. We ain't in some mafia movie, right? Spider is no more, no freaking boss. Actually, the name Spider sounds to me like some creepy little skinny, like some creepy little underfed skinny person, that you would actually see on a scary movie. You know what I'm saying? The thing that freaking climbs out of a closet or something, looking at you and shit. That's what I'm picturing. That's what I'm picturing when somebody says spider. This, long-legged, long-armed, linky, freaking, freaky looking Halloween type, scary movie character. And yeah, I could see that. All right. I could see that hanging out on Ben Hill Road. Hell, I've seen even scarier than that, right? I mean, all of them guys are like watching some kind of, freaking Goonie show or something, where people don't look right. Some mother freaking, I don't know, backwooded crazy stuff that you watch, on TV where the people stand around playing the banjos, dun 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 dun, some weird shit. Everybody's related to everybody else, all of them looking weird. Yeah. Shit. Brokeback Mountain ain't got shit on that. But it's just, really weird. But anyway, I don't believe there's no spider had nobody. Let's remember that nobody's going to go up there with 20 dogs getting anybody that had been put in a house. Candus plainly stated, we went outside and planted flowers. Well, first I went out and talked to my mom, and I told her, Mom, what's up, Mom? What you doing out here? Oh, nothing. I'm just sitting here because I gotta planting flowers right there, big old, sticky thorn cactuses. And Candace said, she tells Mom, well, Mom, I you know who ain't going to help us, but I know who will. I'll get Summer, do you want to help plant flowers? Oh, yeah, she jumps right up. She comes running out and wanting to help Grandma plant flowers. So we planted the flowers and we washed our hands and went in a trailer and Mom give Summer a piece of candy. Oh yeah, that's right, her favorite peppermint. And then I took her all the way back over to the house and I watched her through the door, which is about 10 feet away. And I hollered in and I told the boys, you watch your sister. Make sure you watch your sister. And then I went over in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I went over and fixed Mom's knee brace. And I come straight back in. And I said, boys, where's Summer? Where's your sister? We don't know. She's probably in the basement. I went right down to that basement. And I couldn't find her. She's just gone. And I came up and I asked the boys, You sure? You seen your sister? Where'd your sister go? We don't know. Well, I can't find her. She's gone. Uh, what does that story tell you? What does that story tell you? Because I'm going to tell you what it tells me. If you walk straight in the fucking door after you just stuck your little girl inside, told the older kids to watch her, and it ain't, and it's 2 minutes, you go back in the house, and this child, is supposedly gone. That child wasn't ever there to begin with. That's what it tells me. It tells me that if you walk up into the house, if I'm sitting in a house, and you walk in and you ask me, where is somebody that you just sent through the door? And you didn't even look for them, I'm going to have some suspicious eyeball on you. I'm going to look at you like, what the fuck you talking about? What the hell you talking about? You walk right in this door asking me where somebody is when you didn't even walk around and check, when you didn't go to the bathroom to see if they're in it. You didn't go to any of the other rooms. You didn't go down the basement yourself, why would you just assume that, that the kid's not in there? Why would you walk in the door and ask me where someone is when you didn't even look for them? Why would you do that? I mean, if I put someone inside of a house and I went over, and I turned around, went back to the car to grab, bag of groceries or, did anything. And that's about what it would have took to, do Grandis's knee, about what it would take you to get in a vehicle, grab a bag of groceries and come back in the house with it. So if I went to the car, grabbed a bag of groceries, came back into the house, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to, assume the child's in there. I'm not going, when I come in, I'm going to go set the groceries down. I'm probably going to start putting them away because I just assume the child is in there. I just put it in there, right? I would assume it's in there with its brothers or the older children, eating and playing and doing something. I mean, it's going to be a minute before I realize, hey, where's this other kid? But if I walk straight into the house asking where this kid is, ain't something fucking wrong. Right there. Right there is something wrong with the whole story. Nobody just walks in and says, hey, where's your sister? After knowing they just barely put the child in there. Because you're just going to assume the kid is in there. You're just going to assume it. You're not going to, she didn't go in and ask where the younger boy was. She didn't go in and ask where the middle boy is. She didn't go in and ask where the older boy is. She goes in and she asks where Summer is. And I'm going to tell you, seeing that she had Summer's hair all cut off like a boy, it would take me a minute to actually figure out if one of those boys wasn't Summer. I could mistake the younger boy for Summer if they were all sitting there. So it's going to take me a minute to look at everybody who's sitting there in order to be able to say Summer wasn't there. But all of a sudden, she just walks in and immediately knows Summer's not there because she's already asking for her, right? It's a motherfucking setup, a gaslighting plan and plot against her sons. She knew Summer wasn't ever coming in that door. Summer didn't ever come in that door from the time they arrived home to Candus going down to Fred's place. Summer didn't ever get out of the vehicle. She did not ever get out of the vehicle unless it was just long enough for her and Grandis to stick Summer in that tote. Now, I'm not saying they didn't slide around into the tote and then put the tote back up in the car and go down to Fred's house. And that's the box. And that's the box that, Cotton was talking about. I think that black tote is the box Cotton was talking about. That's my opinion. I think he saw Summer in that black tote. I think Cotton was inside Ben Hill Road, June 15, 2021, down at Fred's houses also. Now, I don't know if he was riding. I don't know if Chad Arnold brought him in there. I don't know if he came in there on his own. I don't know, if he was already there hanging out with Fred and Laura. But I truly believe that Cotton was there and he saw that black tote and he saw Summer. He knew what was in it. And he told his mother and he told other family members that if anything happened to him, he wanted them to know that he saw Summer in a box at Fred Hill's house. That's what he told them. That's what I was told. And I was told this by Cotton's own family. His own family. Yeah, law enforcement, I'm going to tell you, Ronnie, the reason nobody's in jail is because Ronnie Lawson took Ronnie Lawson let a bunch of goobers run up there and destroy the crime scene. That's why nobody's in jail. Because Ronnie didn't know how to say, rope it off, get those people off that hill, rope it off. And you wait, don't let nobody up there till I get there. And when Ronnie got there, he did not, he should have gotten there and he should have preserved the hill. The hill should have been preserved as a crime scene. And if they felt that Summer might have wandered off, then they all should have went in the woods off of Beach Creek and Ben Hill. They should have been going through the woods off of Ben Hill and Beach Creek. They should not have been up on the hill whatsoever. And they should have removed everybody off the hill in order to preserve the crime scene and collect the evidence that they needed. Ronnie Lawson, he wanted to handle it like, that everybody knows everybody. Everybody calls you friend, right? He wanted to handle it like some small town bullshit, like he knew everybody. And, these good old folks, nobody around here be hurting no children. This is just a wandering off case, and we're going to find this child, and everything's going to be okay. Because Ronnie Lawson does not know how to see evil for what it is. He had never dealt with nothing like this. Ronnie Lawson had not ever dealt with a real criminal case in his life. Matter of fact, I don't think any of them did when it came to a child. Because it's true. Most people don't hurt kids. Most people do not destroy, their own children. And in this case, I believe Candus, Grandis, and Don Wells did. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. But Ronnie wasn't prepared for no shit like this. He didn't understand what real evil looked like. Real evil. He didn't know Don and Can. He got to know them. But by the time he did, he done dropped the damn ball and all the evidence was destroyed. Right? The whole mother freaking crime scene was a mess. That's just the way it was. And he knew it. And he was pissed about it. That's why he came out and said, there is no signs of an abduction. Asked him why it took him 4.5 hours to call law enforcement. Because he knew he done dropped the fucking ball. And by the time he figured it all out, well, shit, he done destroyed everything that could have been damning in court to the case, right? He everything that could have been, damning against the Wells was fucking destroyed. What can you say? Can't say nothing. I don't know about, I don't, I ain't one of those people. Do not blame. The Bible says that the father is not responsible for the son's sin. The son is not responsible for the father's sins. No more than a mother is responsible for her daughter or the daughter is responsible for the mother's sins. No human is responsible for someone else's sins. I mean, you can't hate on a dad for what his children do. And you can't hate on the children for what the dad does. There's a lot of people that do that, and it's really freaking wrong. It's absolutely evil and it's wrong to do that. But you'd be surprised at how many people want to, they want to put everybody into the same pot, and it's bullshit. I'm not going to, Ronnie Lawson, what his son did has nothing to do with him. He didn't do none of that. His son, he can't control what his son does. His son's a grown ass man that did what he did, and and that's not a reflection, on it's not a reflection on Ronnie. People make it a reflection on him. But it's not in the eyes of God. It's no reflection on Ronnie. It's God's not going to ask Ronnie about his son. God's going to ask Ronnie's son about himself. And if God ain't going to ask Ronnie about his son, then I'm not going to be asking Ronnie about his son as well. That son is his own person, and he did what he did. I think that his son has hindered Summer's case because Ronnie had to, focus on that, and he had to take a whole lot of, backlash because of that. And, and I think it kind of put Ronnie, I mean, that really came at a bad time. That was really bad timing for Summer. And I think it did kind of, put Ronnie kind of in a corner where Summer's case was concerned, with all that his son did. I mean, his son couldn't have picked a worse fucking time to do his little stunts than when he did them. That's the last thing Summer needed. That's the last thing Summer needed. At that particular time. I think that, I think Ronnie would have worked harder, and I think he may have even solved Summer's case by now if all of that shit wouldn't have hit the fan. That's what I'm saying. I think Ronnie, I don't know what's wrong with law enforcement down there in Hawkins County, Tennessee. I have no idea. You know, Ronnie Lawson don't seem to be as as bad as Pruitt. Now Pruitt is the one that was assigned to Summers' case, not Ronnie. Detective Pruitt was the one assigned to Summers' case, and Detective Pruitt is the one hanging up on people. Detective Pruitt is the one not wanting to hear. He don't even want to hear what you got to say. If you have a lead or a tip, and you call in and talk to Pruitt, which that's who they gave you to at the time. They would transfer you to Pruitt. And as soon as you start to tell him something, he would just hang up the phone on you or get really ugly and nasty with you, and really run it, and really get hateful and mean. And like he's dismissing you before you could even, he don't want to listen. He wants to talk and he wants to hang up. That's what he does. He wants to run his jaws and hang up. And that tells me he is not interested in, any tips coming in. He is not interested in solving Summers' case. And, that's not on Ronnie, that's on Pruitt. Why in the hell is Pruitt hanging up on everybody? Why is Pruitt refusing to hear any tips that you got coming in? Why is he not wanting to hear the fucking truth when it comes to Summers' case? That's a question for Pruitt, not for Ronnie. Ronnie Lawson came out and he plainly stated, he plain I don't know what else the man could have said. I don't know what else he could have said that, that did not direct you straight to the wells. Because that's where Ronnie was putting all the guilt. He was putting all the guilt. Ronnie Lawson was basically saying, she did not get abducted. That's bullshit. These are some shady motherfucking evil bastards up here. We think that this little girl wasn't even alive on those milk jugs. We think they brought her back here, and orchestrated some kind of bullshit and hid her somewhere. And we aren't looking for a live child, we're looking for a deceased one. Now, that's pretty much what he was saying when he said no signs of an abduction. And you ask him why it took him 4.5 hours to call law enforcement. That's exactly what he was saying without saying it. You got to read between the lines. And he was pissed. He was pissed off that forensics could not, 100% determine if she was deceased in that picture, that video. I mean, he was pissed off that, that the case got, all the evidence got destroyed. He got pissed off that, that Don and Candus was playing their fucking games and not giving the timeline and not cooperating and doing their bullshit. He was, this man was very, very distraught over all of it. I mean, he really wanted to believe this little girl was going to be found. He really wanted to believe in Don and Candus being good people, not evil enough to destroy a child, not evil enough to do, and then as the case went on, they started to find out, that some, child stuff had been going on up there. They started to realize, Arkansas was coming out about what they were doing there. Utah was coming out about what Don was doing up there with children, what he was doing with children over in Arkansas. And, and it was coming out what was going on up there with children on Ben Hill Road. And then Ronnie started to realize, all the truth about this case. But knowing what happened and proving what happened is two different things. And that's why Don and Candus's ass ain't locked up right now. But Summer has to be somewhere. And I'm going to tell you, if Ronnie Lawson could overlook all of this other stuff because he wanted to be a good old boy when he first went up there and destroyed everything, then he could have overlooked the black tote down in that grave site. He could have overlooked exactly where that child was the whole time they was looking for her. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, because I sure the hell do. Now, my question is, why the hell are they not checking that gravesite? Why are they not looking into it? Why was Pruitt not wanting to take any leads that people had, that the people wanted to call in with? Why was he not wanting to take any information pertaining to Summer's case? I don't know. I have no idea. My eyes ain't on Ronnie Lawson and his son. My eyes are on Pruitt. That's where my eyes are. What the hell? What the hell does Pruitt have to do in all of this? He's the one, not taking the leads to even follow. He's the one not taking no tips. He's the one that seems to be trying to keep this case from being solved. Not Ronnie. That's just my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Because I personally called Pruitt, and he hung up on me. He mother freaking hung up on me. Not once, twice. He hung up on Ziggy. He didn't hang up on Andy Bernard. He didn't hang up on fucking Andy. But his ass hung up on everybody else. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. He didn't hang up on Andy Bernard at all. He was motherfucking nice to Andy. But anybody else, he clicks the phone down on. Even Fred Hill. Even Fred. Gotta think about that one. Just gotta think about it, man. I'm gonna tell you, we know that Ben Hill Road had people manufacturing illegal substance and distributed them as well as taking them. We know that Don Wells has a history of basically trying to sell children, right? How else can you put it? He has a history trying to sell his kids up there in Utah. Definitely, running some kind of thing over in Arkansas because kids were removed from his and Pam's property who had been essayed, little children, brand new babies. I'm talking about freaking babies. Babies that couldn't even walk yet. Okay? Little babies. They couldn't even walk yet. That's how sick. You want to talk about how sick these people are? That's how fucking sick they are, okay? Yeah. You didn't know that Lisa J's baby wasn't even old enough to walk yet? That got taken away from the Don and Pam's home over in Arkansas, along with other kids who were being essayed. Yeah. And she didn't ever get that baby back either. She did not ever get the baby back. They took that baby and they kept that baby. How sick is that? And people are sitting there supporting the Wells. You're going to really support someone that was, having something like that going on at their residence? Seriously? You're gonna feel sorry for these people? I don't feel sorry for them at all. They are sick. They are fucking disgusting. And I'm gonna tell you, that is an illness that cannot be healed. Okay? That kind of sickness, there is no fucking cure for. These son of a bitches, and they continue to do it. They continue to do it. It's a fetish. It's something they like doing. It's something they want to do. And it's something that, other people's going to fall victim to in the future. Because that's who and how and what they are. Just saying. I mean, come on. He was doing it up in Utah. He was doing it over in Arkansas. And Candus was at the same place. Candus Wells, that's where she met up with Don Wells, was at Pam's house where those children got taken away for being assaulted like that. Okay? Candus had her ass right fucking there. Matter of fact, the reason they took her in is because she was pregnant. And they planned on getting her hands on that baby too. But the hospital didn't give it to Candus because, from what Lisa J said, according to Lisa J, the baby was addicted to illegal substances, and Child Protective Services swooped in and took it away. So Candus didn't get to keep it. But she went back to Don and Candus's house. Right back to the place where they were doing this at. Everybody knew what they were doing there. And Candus didn't care. She didn't care, did she? She was going to drag a baby in there herself to be done like that. You don't hang around a place and not know what the hell's going on. That's bullshit. I could go somewhere one time and visit and pretty much tell you exactly what the fuck that place is like. I can tell you whether it's good or it's evil. And they ain't no Mr. In between. It's either one way or the other. You stay there long enough, and you're going to see the fucking ugly come out if there's any ugliness. You're going to see it. Because people can't hide it. People cannot hide their mother freaking evilness for very long. Candus knew exactly what was going on. And when they came in and when law enforcement came in and busted that place and started arresting those people, and Child Protective Services came in there and removed all them kids, Don and Candus got the hell out of there. They were homeless for a while. They left Pam to clean up that mess. And then they ended up over in Tennessee, where I truly believe that what Don did all up in Utah, over in Arkansas, continued right there in Tennessee as well. And it wasn't just with his children. I think Jody Sue was right. It was with other people's children as well. And I think we saw enough pictures to understand that was true. I think we've seen enough evil fucking pictures telling us exactly what we need to know about what was going on up there. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Children are innocent, absolutely, but they're not going to be innocent very long around people like Don and Candus Wells. You think your children are going to stay innocent around human beings like that very long? You're wrong. You are so wrong. And there is a lot of humans like that. There is a lot of humans like that. And I'm going to tell you something. You think your kids, people say, oh, they want their kids to be able to socialize and get social skills, hanging around with all these other kids and so forth and so on. I'm going to tell you something. You best better know what your kids are hanging around with, because kids that are around Don and Candus Wells, people like them, well, those kids would be doing stuff to your kids too. When those kids are introduced to that type of evilness, well, they start introducing it as well to other children. And your child could fall a victim to it. You better be and you think that, just Don and Candus Wells, the only people like that? No, there's plenty of Don and Candus Wells in this world. A whole damn lot of them. And your children could be getting with their children. And God knows what's going to be, what they're going to subject your child to. And your child's going to be afraid to tell you anything about it. Kids do not want to talk about being touched indecently. No child wants to talk about someone indecently touching them or doing something to them or saying indecent stuff to them. They do not want to open up. They do not want to tell you about it. You are the last person they want to talk to. That is embarrassing shit. It's very embarrassing. And it's something that a child will not come out and say. That child will just live with it. It will just hide it and live with it. And try to forget it. Try to, put it behind them. Because they don't want no one knowing. It's like Hunter. He doesn't want to acknowledge what Candus did. He does not want to not acknowledge that. He will sit there all day long and deny what we actually saw, with our own eyes. He doesn't want, he doesn't want to acknowledge it because it's embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's, it's degrading. He don't want that out there. Right? If some weirdo, violated you, you don't want to tell people. You don't want people looking at you knowing that. Nobody seems to care about the person that violated you. What they do is scrutinize you. They don't see you as a victim. They see you as somebody that, has been taken advantage of and might take advantage of somebody else. Because that's how sick people work. All right? That's the way evil minds in this world work. That's how humans are going to view you. That's why a lot of people don't come out and tell about it. And I can't say I blame them. I can't say I blame them. It's bad enough that it happened to you. But to have what happened to you used against you is bullshit. And trust me, in this fucking evil world today, that's how people are. They're sick. They're nasty. They're disgusting. Just saying.
And Grandma, or you can call her Grandis or whatever the fuck you want. We call her Candy. Candy was there, and she was sleeping, and the boys were supposed to be in charge of the home, and Candace left.
Where did Candus go? Cuz.
Well, you want to know the truth? She went to take Hunter home. She was taking Hunter home. She was there with Hunter, and she wasn't supposed to be there with Hunter. She
So
was
you're
taking
saying
Hunter home.
when Allie says that Summer was in the car when she brought Hunter home?
Oh, Ellie,
that's a lie.
No, and if you go back and look on YouTube, she already admitted that was a lie. That was a big fat lie. She's a big fat liar. She was like not following Hunter's probation at all. She let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do with Candus and whoever he wanted to do it with. She didn't give a shit. She was too fat and lazy, sleeping in her bed on the toilet, whatever the hell she was doing, but she wasn't watching her kid. I'm telling you, that was a lie. So what happened is she was taking Hunter home, and so her timeline is screwed up. And when she says she don't want to talk about it because, I already told the TV, everybody knows if I tell it, this is the perpetrator. Fuck that. No, you don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if Candus is completely innocent, like you're saying, then why all the fuck shit? Why all the
Well, let me
lying?
tell you why. But it's gonna come out now. Let me tell you why. It's about ready to come out. Let me tell you why. Because she was afraid to lose her boys. But now the boys don't want to come home. So Candace has nothing else to lose, right? It's going to come out. Let me tell you the truth. It's coming out. You guys all watch. It's coming out. Candace lied about the timeline, and she was scared. But now she has nothing else to lose. And Don, the guilt is eating them up alive. And they're coming out. They had nothing to do with this whole baby going missing. It's not them. It's not them. And we've already turned these people.
She ain't got nothing else to lose, and guilt is eating Dawn up. If what she's saying is true, that that this spider guy had somebody come to get, it was Marlena's daughter they wanted and not Summer, wouldn't that make Dawn and Candus both not guilty? Wouldn't it make Dawn and Candus both not guilty? Because you can't have Dawn. I mean, if this Marlena's daughter was the target and they accidentally got Summer, then that means Dawn and Candus are fucking innocent, right? Put a 1 in the chat if that would be right, because that has to be right. That has to be right. So what the hell is she talking about? Oh, Dawn's being ate up with guilt and it's all going to come out. No, you can't have it like that. You can't say Candus is all innocent and everything. But what the hell is Candus doing for you, lady? And that you want her to be all innocent? What the hell? Is she feeding you a Klondike bar? What would you do for a Klondike bar? What the hell is she doing for you? This is some weird shit. We got Kathy the friend crying, hiding the box after she told us she's giving it to law enforcement, waiting for Can to come back so she could get some smoochy woochy lobby poo poo doo. Right? Come on home, baby. I love you so much. You stinky can, because I just need it. I miss the odor of your dirty feet and all over the house, right? I'm going to tell you, it seems like all these people can get past, all seem to be able to get past that smell. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Dawn seems to be getting past it. Kathy the friend getting past it. Day Day getting past it. A lot of these people getting past it. Dee Dee's old man, Freddie, getting past it. Right? Sounds like this lady might have been getting past it too. I don't know. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I mean, these people, man, they must. They just must really love that, pursuer, that La Sewer Pisso smell. La Sewer Pisso in the bottle. They're buying it up. It's a new perfume on the market. La Sewer Pisso. $0.99 a bottle. Sold on Ben Hill Road. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. What is wrong with all these people? It's like Candus has got them bewitched. Ooh. Can. Can's their man. I guess she really knows how to play with the yo-yo and the yardo, right? I don't know. Seems like, all these people, they be, all distraught. Like somebody was asking Day Day, is Can your friend? And she didn't want to answer. She's like, I don't know. No, really, is she your friend? I don't know. She don't know. She don't know if Can's her friend. I mean, Can was up there sleeping on her sofa and motorboating those big feet in her pool, right? She's letting out all that freaking toe jam all over that pole. She like, motorboat. Them big old Freddie Flintstone fucking feet in Day Day's pool. Shit. The only one I ever seen get more than her feet in water. The only one I ever seen get more than her feet in some water was Benny Keys. I mean, Ernie was good, but he couldn't even get her to take a bath. Right? He couldn't even get her to take a bath. Benny got her in a pool. And if you took note, he was all the way on the other side of it. He's like, oh, hell. That mother freaking stench might get worse when it gets wet. I can't be smelling that shit. What little bit he did smell already swelled his teeth up. He was looking for a dentist. Right? He was already sucked that infection in. Swelled his teeth up. Like, what the hell? You know? That's gotta be some pretty bad shit. If it gets, if it can affect your damn teeth by just hanging around smelling it. That's gotta be some bad shit. I don't know.
Going to the TBI over and over, and nobody's listening. And we keep sending like video proof and proof. This is not them. They didn't do it. It's not them. It's the Crawfords. They need to look closer, and they need to look at these people that were sending like the proof. This guy like has pictures of like keeping them stuck and stealing their babies. Like he talks about this code and all this weird shit. He was talking about the jailhouse code.
Oh, dang, really? Oh, Puddles, is that true? Whoa, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's nasty. Ooh, that's an ugly kind. That's an ugly kind of nastiness too, ain't it? Ooh. My gosh.
Code. Like when they go to jail, they write letters and code to each other and shit. This guy, and I don't know how I can put his name out there without getting in trouble. In my opinion, it's Philip. I don't know how to. I'm not.
Yeah, don't worry about his name. Just send it to me in my Facebook.
All right, but he's from Rowan Mountain. I'm telling you. And there's a video of this guy living in the woods and talking about stealing kids and all this bullshit and keeping them like in an Amish school almost, like it's called the Isaiah House. He calls it like this religious house. And I swear to God, our family does not believe that they're guilty. Honest to God, they're not. And we think that these people honestly took Summer and on mistake. It wasn't not the intended target. Marlena's daughter, Journey, was actually, that's why Marlene was freaking out. Summer was not the one that was supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be Journey. And
Oh my, OMG, OMG. I can't even listen to that lady any longer. I can't even listen to her. She is so full of BS. It's pathetic, right? I bet that chick has brown eyes. I bet she has brown eyes. Because she is full of BS. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just saying. Want to talk about turning, I think right there was turning those blue eyes brown. When no blue eyes, brown eyes turning blue. That was just some bullshit. PG's looking, where'd that couch go? Hell, honey, I don't know. I don't know where the hell that couch went. I have no idea. But seeing that the door had been fixed, seeing that the old door that the couch was keeping shut had been changed out with a new door that you can't see through and actually has locks on it, I'd say the couch got taken out of there before Summer ever went missing. It looks to me like they got rid of the sofa and put a door in there that would lock, that would lock. So that's, that's telling me the sofa had gotten gone with the new door going in. Just saying. Lady K, I don't know. Is there a Lady K in here? I have no idea. Oh, Curly Top was over there talking. Oh, Curly Top was over there talking. She was running off about PG. But I don't know. I don't know if that's who she is. I don't know. I don't put nothing past her. Yeah, she was really running off. You know, if it wasn't for PG, she wouldn't have no content, right? Her, Andrew, I can name a few of them, wouldn't have no content if it wasn't for PG. You know, I am their content. Who loves me, Janet? PG, she loves you. Girl, if you talking about that Lisa, those fighting words. Those fighting words. You better take the link and come up here. Right? Come up here. I got a steel toe boot waiting on you. Right? Oh yeah, that's who you was talking about. Okay, I see how it is, Janet. I see how it is now. Girl. And you was my favorite. You was my favorite. Not anymore. Right? Not anymore. No, I'm kidding. I love you, girl. Yeah, I think she does. You know, I think she got something for me. I really do. I'm glad I got married. I'm glad I got married. I think you might be right. Right. I got married in the nick of time. I got to thank my husband for saving me. I got to thank him. I got to give him a kiss tonight and let him know how much I appreciate him saving me. He don't know it. He don't know it, but he did. God bless him. I'm bringing you up, Australia. There you are, girlfriend.
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm doing good, girl. I'll tell
I,
you
so,
when I
I,
hear
I,
your when I
I
hear
just
your
wanted to
accent,
let
I
you
feel
know I was watching one of your shows from last year. I think the early beginning of last year,
right.
and you had Josh from the lab, Justin on panel, Pam and Jody Sue, and you were showing photos of Candus and Don hiding inside the shed. And I didn't not realize that you were live today because I was deep in the live and I was laughing my head off. And Maddie goes, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "PG's pictures of Don and Candace." Gee,
Right.
that was funny.
Absolutely.
Y-
Here they are. Here they are. I got one for you, girlfriend. There you go. I've got two alibis. We're working on five more. Here they are, you guys. There's Candy Can. Did I say I was going home? Nope. It's
I
not
love
like
your
that when you be
photos.
doing that. Right? Look, Can Can got a new man, me, Freddie the freeloader. I gotta keep your woman, Donnie. She's helped me sell all the DD stuff. Right? I was broke until Can Can came along. She really helped
That's
me out.
amazing.
Right?
I
Can Can
love
was
your
the one.
photos. You should start a photo album.
Look at that. Life's like a yard sale. You never know whose stuff you're buying. Right?
Did you see how much she was charging for the things too? She was practically giving stuff away.
Well, it wasn't hers. She didn't care. She didn't care. And and I think that's kind of how her and that Dee Dee bonded, because I think it was Dee Dee that liked going fishing. I think that Dee Dee lady loved to go fishing, like Candace likes to fish. She probably
She
fished.
looked she
And
looked too good to hang out with Candus.
oh, I know. And I
Why
truly
would
believe.
they want to have anything to do with them?
Oh, you listen, girlfriend. Let me tell
And what
you.
does that Fred see in Candus?
Let me tell you a secret.
Toothless hag.
Well, I tell you, listen to this. Candace was supposed to be there holding Dee Dee's hand up until she passes away, and then she nudged her a couple of times, make sure she was good and gone. And then she goes sits on the sofa. She don't call 911. She doesn't try to do anything to save her, no CPR or any type of you know emergency um hand up or anything like that. But she done nothing at all to save this lady's life.
I
And
don't even think I don't even think she has the mental capacity to
I'm
know
gonna
what to
tell you,
do in an emergency situation.
oh bullshit. I'm gonna tell you what we all know. Every last damn one of us know to call 911 if
Oh, I
something
know
is not right.
911, but she
I
wouldn't
mean,
know
every
how to do
every
CPR.
every last one of us knows that if we stay on the phone with 911, they will tell us, to check their pulse, to see if
Yeah,
they're
that's
breathing.
true.
They'll tell us, put your damn head down to their chest, see if you can hear a heartbeat. And, right away, start compressions. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they tell you exactly how to do it. I forgot all
well,
about that.
if you think that the person is like in and cardiac arrest or whatever, then you start the chest compressions. They say they used to want you you know to resuscitate them. You do the breathe, you give them so many blows, and then you do the compressions, and then and the mouth and compressions, mouth to mouth and
Yeah,
compressions. But they don't want you to do the mouth to mouth no more. They said that they find that just doing the compressions work better than um, I'm trying to do both at one time. So that's something that you got to take in consideration. But um, the 911 operator will tell you exactly, if somebody's in cardiac arrest, the first thing you do is actually loosen their clothes. Like if they got tight pants on or what, you loosen their belt,
yeah,
open their
yeah.
pants. You know what I'm saying?
And if they're sitting in an
Open
armchair, you've got to
open
pull them onto the floor.
make sure they're laying flat, make sure that their 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 pants are loose, their shirt is loose and everything, and you start the compressions, and you wait for 911 to get there. You do everything in your power to keep this person going. And if they haven't like passed out or anything yet, you're supposed to get baby aspirins and give them many baby aspirins, like usually about four baby aspirins you have them take it, and
Yeah,
a little bit of water. And what that'll do is it'll open the arteries up so they can some blood can get through, and the compressions will keep them going until 911 gets there. You got to know what the hell to do. Everybody is able to learn this stuff. I mean, it's not that hard. You can go to any fire station or, you know, um, the Red Cross. I mean, there's people
yeah.
that
I've got
teach
to.
this.
I've got to upgrade mine.
Yeah, hospitals have classes that you can go to, CPR classes that you can, call and come in when they're having one, and do the CPR. They have it where, you do it on infants. Infants are a little different. You don't give infants compressions like you would give an adult. When it's a child, You just use you just use the tips of your two
You
two
use
fingers.
one finger and you do it quickly.
They said use two fingers, and you just you just easily up and down to keep the baby going. But
Yep.
you know these, and you don't do mouth to mouth on a baby. You just blow. You just
You give one quick blow and then you use your finger and you compress.
So
Or you could use your thumb as well.
it
You can
well
hold the baby. You can hold
when
the baby with the legs into you with the baby laying down your arm. That's how we do it in Australia.
they told when I took CPR for infants, they told me to lay the baby just like you would an adult, flat, and you just and you just use the two fingers to press, and then you just blow, like you're blowing out a candle, at the baby's mouth, and then you do the compressions and you blow the same, the same way. You don't be, you know doing like you do an adult. It's nothing like an adult trying to save an adult. But the point being is, she could have done something. When you were talking to a 911 operator, a 911 operator will tell you, first of all, check the person's, their mouth, to see if there's anything in there. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're choking on something, or
Yeah, you roll them on their side.
sure that there's nothing obstructing their airway. So you need to
Yep.
look, you need to look in their mouth first. And if their airway's all clear, and if you could even hear the faintest of a little bit of a heartbeat or anything, I mean, and even sometimes you think somebody's gone, they're not gone. If you start CPR on them, you'd be surprised, that they're not gone at all, because the pulse and everything, the breathing can get shallow, the pulse can get really, weak, and when somebody, because they're in the process of going out of the world, and in order to bring them back into this world, you got to think fast and you got to do what it takes. But now, oh, that ain't what I wanted to tell you. What I wanted to tell you is Candace is saying now she wasn't even there. She says now she wasn't there. She wasn't holding nobody's hand. She wasn't sitting on no.
What a liar.
Oh yeah, that's what she's saying now. She went into, I believe
You
it was,
know what?
I believe it was
I
Andrew's
can't
friend.
understand white boy.
And then listen to this. They
What
questioned her.
why does white boy all of a sudden turn around and say, Fred, you're on court, just warning you about Candus. She's a suspect in her own daughter's disappearance when all for the last God knows how many years he's been kissing her backside and now he's turning
Well,
his back on
you
her.
know, well, she was with Donnie. Well, she was part of Don. He's in love
Yeah,
with Donald. White boy. I
he
promise
is,
you.
isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I promise you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. I think if Candace really left Don, if she really did
He's
leave
he,
Don, he would
he's
be moving
really
in with
scared about losing Don.
he would probably leave his old lady and move in with Don. Like he is like straight up freaking got something weird for Don. The way Kathy, the friend, had something for Can. Man, these people are weird. I'm telling you, they are really mother freaking like, whoa. They're way far fetched, right?
Very weird.
Uh huh. And I'm
And
like,
why he listens to Donald's crap. Oh my gosh.
I want to tell you something, honey. He's got a whole mother freaking pot of it. He ain't got a bowl full. He's got a pot full, and he's got a big spoon, licking it up like it's going out of style, right? He's licking that shit up like it's
Hear,
going out
hearing
of style.
hearing Don on the phone with him the other day saying how much Summer would sell for just made me sick.
Right, right. And
What
he
kind of a
said,
parent talks about their missing daughter like
uh,
she's a piece of shit
sixty
after
thousand
after
dollars.
4 years?
He's like, she would go for about $60,000, right? What the fuck?
$70,000.
Hey Don. the videotapes that I got of you, you were saying, you we'll see her in the resurrection. I don't think she's here anymore.
Laughing about a sex tape.
She ain't ever going to be found. Yeah, we sold a $5,000 tape of her boss doing bad
That's
things with her,
the only reason I've been making videos is to show people how awful they are.
right? And then he sits there, and he has the audacity to say, that they did awful things with a hammer, and and
Yes, he even said that to Smiley.
oh, I know it. I know it.
He
He
said
said
he
it
said
to
to
the news.
Smiley, and he said to Smiley, "Oh, she probably got hit in the head with a hammer."
Well, he didn't just say it to Smiley. He said it.
And she's
He said it.
probably in a basement.
Yeah, and ain't able to go outside and ain't able to do anything, and then he sits there and tells everybody that that he's worried about her soul, whether it's going to go to the righteous place or not.
Yeah,
Like it was her fault what they were doing to her, and
he's
now
disgusting.
he's worried, that because they were using and abusing her, and in that sick, disgusting way that she's taking it and ain't going to be able to make it to the righteous place. Oh my gosh! Like what the fuck is wrong with this?
Whether or not they did anything to Summer,
She's in heaven.
they're still guilty. They're
That
still
little girl.
guilty either way
That
because of the
little
way they
girl
treated her.
is in heaven. I'm telling you now.
Oh,
She is in heaven.
absolutely, she
And I'm
is.
going to tell you nothing. There is no doubt in my mind
And
that they did not do
She's safer now.
evil stuff to that little girl. No doubt in my mind that they did
Poor
not do
little
it
baby.
to that girl. I'm going to tell you, it's my opinion. Man, they used and abused that little girl for some heinous stuff that you wouldn't even ever want that they even think about. I think that she didn't only have that stinky, disgusting Dawn and Candus all over her,
Oh,
but I truly believe that they allowed other people to be all over her as well. That's my
I can't.
opinion. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I mean, he came out of his.
I've had my head deep in those videos for the last couple of months, and I've cried, and I've felt like vomiting after hearing the way he speaks about her.
It's
Oh, it's
criminal.
just
It's criminal
disgusting.
just how he speaks on her. It's
Josh has
criminal.
got
Who
Josh
in
from the
the
lab has got so much of him saying the most awful, vile things about her.
I'm going to tell you something. If you had a
She didn't
missing,
deserve it.
if you had a missing child, if you had a missing child, let it be a boy or a girl. You had a missing child. And I'm going to tell you something. Somebody truly did. Somebody truly did take it. Like Michael Vaughn, somebody truly took it away. You don't have no idea where it's at. I'm going to
Exactly.
tell
Look at
you
Brandy.
now. If someone like Don Wells looked at me and said they probably did this to it, and I'm going to tell you what. I'm probably going to go to prison, right? I'm probably going to end up in prison because I'm going to tell you why. That's the last damn thing a parent wants to hear when they've got a missing baby. It's the last damn thing they will say, and it's the last damn thing they want to hear. They do not want to hear it. They do not want to think it. They do not want anything like that.
No, I know.
They can't do it. They cannot do it. They can't deal with that shit. No one
Brian,
can mentally.
remember Brian, and is it Brian Enton off the news that questioned him down in his paddock,
Right.
down near the shed, about about Candace covering something up, and he goes, "Oh no, she wouldn't do anything like that. No, not at all. She didn't do anything like that. She'd call 911 if anything happened. I don't think he could believe his eyes what he had just come across.
I'm going to tell you something.
Those people.
You know something? They abused that little girl. They loved abusing her. They loved abusing all those kids. They got off on
And
grab.
not one person that surrounded her, not one person in that holler had the balls to pick up the phone and call law enforcement on them.
And I'm going to tell you something. They're still abusing her now. They're not done abusing this little girl. They're still abusing her. They're still, you know what? Don and Candace Wells sit there after all the evil they did, off of, after all what they put these children through, after all of what they put these kids through, even those boys, after everything they put these babies through, them dirty son of a bitches sitting there laughing that they made all that money. They
Yeah,
didn't
do you
only,
know that
they
they
didn't
used
only,
to do you know
they
they
didn't
used
only,
to let the boys do
they
you know
didn't only,
used to let the boys hit Summer and beat her up and laugh at her? They
right?
used to let the boys beat her up and abuse her as well. I couldn't
You know,
believe my ears when I heard that.
I I
And I
heard
heard and I saw him on the merry-go-round with
I heard
the other two.
I heard that the middle boy, the one in the middle, I heard that I heard that he constantly had to defend Summer. I heard that he took a lot of abuse trying to protect and defend Summer. That's what I heard.
Yeah, there's so much to it. The boys were abused and Summer was abused. And of course the boys wouldn't have known not to hit their sister and not to abuse
And
her.
it was
They
it
wouldn't
was
have thought
it
anything else because
was
that's the way they're raised.
well, it was
No discipline.
the oldest boy who was the oldest boy was the one, along with Don and Candace, putting the other children through a lot of trauma. But he went through a lot of trauma himself. Candace sent that boy up to Utah with Don Wells, and Don Wells told that boy, "Don't be coming out of the camper. Do not be going into the parents' house at any time for anything." Don Wells had all to hide, about everything that he was doing and he did. He had everything to hide, nothing to show. And, and I think Candace sent that boy with Don Wells to I often thought that she sent that boy with Don Wells to, fulfill Don Wells' needs while he was there. That's my opinion. I'll keep it
Yeah,
because,
poor kids. They had to fend for themselves from the moment they were born.
Candace told Jinkies, she confided into Jinkies that she was afraid because Child Protective Services was going to prosecute her and Donald. They were trying to prosecute them both for SAing the children and severely abusing them. Severe abuse and SA. And not just Donald, but Candace as well. So that tells me that those boys obviously told Child Protective Services that they were being SA'd by their parents up there on Ben Hill Road. And if
Yeah,
they were being SA'd, then Summer must have been being SA'd as well. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. And Jinky says it came out of Candace's mouth.
yeah, I believe her.
She has no reason to lie. She ain't got no
I
reason
can't,
to lie on
I
Candace.
can't, I can't believe why Daisy's sticking up for Candace still.
Oh, she's still sticking up for Candace. She's still sticking up for Candace, girlfriend. She was asked last night. They asked her last night, if she, Can was still her friend, and she's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? You don't know if you're going to still be friends with someone that just um is now trying to say they wasn't there when they plainly told you they were. They were the only ones there with this woman who shouldn't have been on the live, but she was. And Can wanted to make sure she was on the live before they was going to get her any type of help. Come on, something ain't fucking right here.
Oh, I just wish the cops would do something about this case. It's gone on for too long.
I mean, and then Day Day was
Really
trying
has.
to.
They should just come in and arrest them.
Then Day Day was trying to. Um, she was trying to destroy Dee Dee's character. She was, really. This woman went up there to the Wells house because of Day Day, because of them turd pop suckers. She went up there to the Wells house. She put that little bench and everything out there, planted flowers. She wanted to believe in their innocence. She picks this snake up. She drives this snake around. She
Yep.
hangs out with this snake because Day Days and White Boys and all of them gave everybody an impression that these mother freakers need to be innocent until proven guilty. Well, I think they done proved their motherfucking selves guilty from day one, don't you? When they didn't put out flyers and they didn't look for their daughter and they was lying like hell, telling law enforcement, "Oh, we know she ain't out there," and wandered off. Well, if you know she didn't wander off, then you know where the hell she is. Because you can't tell somebody where someone isn't unless you motherfucking know where they are. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, I agree with you, PG. It's just a horrible, sad case.
You know something? How
Emmanuel
anyone
Harrow's father pled guilty
how
in
anyone could
court.
ever support two people that are so mother free, and Grandis too. Let's just throw her in there because I'm going to tell you what, she's as wicked as they are. I'm going to tell you what, all of these mother freakers are wicked as hell, evil as they come, and I'm going to tell you what, I wouldn't support a damn one of them. I wouldn't give them the sweat off my ass, and that's the truth. That is the God's honest truth. I think Grandis, Candus, Donald, I think they're all guilty as fucking hell. And I believe Jody Sue and Andy are guilty in it as well. I think they're guilty by association. I think they knew a lot that was going on.
100%.
Maybe even was participating in it. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what, all of these motherfuckers seem to have
They
a dog
knew
in the fight.
they knew about it. They lived next door to them. They provided the rugs to
Right.
to sedate the little girls over there to be touched, as Jody Sue said, and she wouldn't put it past Monster if he had anything to do with ending Summer's life. I've heard her say that over and over and over again the last couple of months.
White Boy said Andrew
And the
died.
darkness in the
Hold on.
holes.
White Boy said Andrew died. Like Andrew, as in Hunter's dad, has passed away. Is that what you're saying, Tracy? Absolutely, Crystal. They know where she's not, then they know where she is. That's right. Oh, White Boy was kidding about it. Wow, that don't seem to be a joke. That don't. Huh. Wow, that shit ain't funny, right? I mean, I was about to break out singing, the song "Ding Dong" with. Yeah, I have to save it now, right? I have to save that. They said he was just kidding. That he wasn't for real. They said it wasn't for real, Australia. I she's got that on her knuckles because that was the her husband's name. The first guy she was married to, when had the two kids by the little girl and the little boy. The little boy is completely destroyed. Like he can't ever live a normal life again. But the little girl got shuffled through. Neither one of them's going to ever live normal because Candus being their parent. But that's why she's got that name on her knuckles because that's her first old man. And that don't seem to bother Dawn either, does it? It don't seem to bother Donnie that she's got that on her knuckles instead of Donnie across her knuckles, right? I mean, something ain't right about her, Candace and Don's relationship at all. I don't think it's ever been normal. I think they both have always had this open relationship where they don't care who sleeps with who or who does what. They're just too. They're just evil and sticking together. Um, because one's just as fucking evil as the other, and they love being together doing the sinister shit they do. They love working together like two demons against everyone else because no fucking body else wants them. Nobody else will have them. And I can guarantee you, if that Fred guy would have Candace's ass, she wouldn't be going back to Donnie. That Fred guy probably told Candace you need to pack it up and go. Sell whatever you have to get gas money and get the hell out of here. That's probably what he said. What do you think, Australia? Um, you got no sound. Your mic ain't working, Australia. She went out. She'll come back in. Yeah, I'm waiting on her. Something went wrong with her mic. There she is.
That's better.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing anything. I'm like, I'm sure she's talking. We can't hear
I
you.
was I was here talking to you the whole time. I had a phone call come through and it must have disconnected me.
Yeah, it took your voice. It took your voice out. It
Yeah.
silenced you. Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Do you
Sometimes.
do you remember his daughter Margie saying what a wonderful father he is?
Mm-hmm.
Poor little thing. She must have been brainwashed from a young age.
I'm going to tell you this is as sad as it is, and it's very, very sad. But I'm going to tell you something. Children who are severely abused throughout their life, you know what? Those kids still truly love their parents. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really love their parents. Usually it's people, it's spoiled kids like the Mendez brothers who destroy their parents. It's usually the ones that got everything, that had an easy life. really wasn't ever abused in any way, form, or how, that, that had a good life, and that end up, you know, destroying their parents and stuff. The kids that are, it seems like the ones that are severely abused and everything, these kids still, for some reason, love their parents. I mean, they still, they still hold this hope that their parents can sometime end up being what they want them to be instead of what they are, right?
Yeah, it's very, very sad. And I reckon that Summer, even after everything, would forgive them and tell everyone that she still loves her mummy and daddy.
Yeah. You know, Don Wells told us the story about Summer falling. He made up that story about Summer falling off that thing.
Yes, off
And,
the when
and
he
said,
was building,
yeah,
when he
and
took
said,
her to the construction site.
right, said, why, Daddy, why didn't you save me? And, he's like, I didn't know, Summer, and she's like, that's okay. And he's like, that's the, who she was, how she was. You know what? That right there told me that Don Wells was looking for forgiveness. He was looking for forgiveness from his little girl for the evil piece of shit he was.
And in
That's what
his
it told me.
prayers, and
You
in the
know,
prayers
you
that he said, and the letters he's written to her, and everything that he's done and put out publicly, he's good as well have told has he's released it by saying it was a dream, or this old man came and took you and found you down the end of the street. And I asked the old man, I asked you, where are you, sweetie? And she goes, I'm just down the road, Dad. That's one of his dreams.
and that was telling you she's just right down there in that grave site.
Absolutely. And then there's another one that he saw her playing on the ground when he was at work one day. Do you remember that one? He's had a couple of dreams and put them out there.
I know that he said that an angel supposedly spoke to him, and that was bullshit. Him and what he was telling is, him and
He,
Candus,
he's releasing his own guilt.
the day that they cut that little girl all of her hair off, that was the day that they started plotting against her. That's the very day that they started planning to get rid of her somehow, some way, to get rid of her. And on June the 15th is the day that they decided to get it done. They had that open grave over there across the road to put her in. They had Hunter, which they, waiting to be picked up to go to the swimming hole to, do what he did. That's, and that put her on the milk jugs. And, and we know this. It's not no he said, she said. It's the truth, you know. It is the truth of what went down. Like, here's Candus. This is Candus's own mouth.
I want to keep doing me so I can do my boys. But yeah, Summer will always be here with me, no matter what anybody says.
I'm gonna keep doing me so I can do
Yep.
my boys. Summer always be here with me. Yeah, right over there at that cemetery.
And I've got to put her to the side.
Right, right. How
And
he would do that.
then she said another time that she was absolutely fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
She's absolute pig.
It's all about her. It's all about
When she was on panel that day, above her head, there's this bright light that moves around her,
I'm going to tell you
and
what.
it looks like Summer,
I'm going to tell you what.
her little
Um,
spirit.
there was. I'm going to tell you what. This lady on Day Days, that Yanni lady, she said she saw a demon come out of Candus's face. I was like, what? She said, yeah, what? She was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you look in the trees out the back when she's sitting out the back in some of her lives, and if you take a screenshot of it, you can see faces in the trees of little red eyes.
Oh, wow. I didn't ever notice that.
If I find
I
it,
noticed.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I did take note that every time she goes out that back door, she points that damn camera over in that one area, which is towards the cemetery. I always wondered why in the hell she keep pointing it in this one particular area, that one particular area. I did take note to that. And, I often thought, at first I thought, is Summer back in there somewhere, on that land? But then I took note that one time they were out there and the trees weren't, as full as they normally are. And I noticed you could see out and over, and I was thinking, whoa, wait a minute. You could see that cemetery there in the distance. And
It's
I
the
think,
perfect place to bury someone.
oh yeah, I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect. They had Hunter waiting to go to the swimming hole and do Candace's dirty deed to this little girl, you know, and you had, she went back to Allison's house. You're I'll let Hunter says it best himself. He says it, best himself, to be honest with you.
Hunter Hunter Gooders told Chris that day exactly what happened.
Well, there isn't a black tote in this vehicle. There ain't a black tote here in this vehicle. There's brown boxes. And Candace slipped up and said black tote.
PG,
No,
see the red tote in the back of the truck.
right?
If you look to
That
the
blue one.
left hand side of that, there's a blue thing.
That's a blue tote. That's another tote back there.
I thought it
So,
was a recycle bin.
no, that's a blue tote right there. That's a red tote, and right behind it's a blue one. But Candace said black tote, and I truly believe that she said Summer was leaning up against a black tote. What I believe is when they got back home and the boys got all the groceries out, ran in the house because they're starving all the time. They was, hungry. They wanted to eat. And I think Candace went in to make sure, that they were ransacking the food, and she acted like she's putting it away, and she was acting like Summer was in there, somewhere. And those boys were just, grabbing everything they could to eat and so forth, and wasn't, they didn't care where Summer was because Grandma, and Mom just got out of the car. Summer could be out with Grandma. They didn't. These boys were so hungry they just didn't care. They just wanted to grab some of that food and get back to the gaming and do what they wanted to do, as all children, and as all children do. They don't look after one another. They just do what they want to do. And I believe that, Summer was laying out there the whole time inside that vehicle. I think the boys did see that their sister was back with Mom and Grandma. Just assume she's going to be getting out of the vehicle and coming in.
Yeah,
But
she
I,
never
I
got out of the
don't.
car.
I don't think, I did. None of them ran. None of them went and
No,
tried to get her out. None of them tried to get her out. None of them,
no.
Um.
And it was hot,
Oh yeah. And I think that
and
Candace.
she was obviously hurt.
And I don't
There's
think she was
blood
hurt.
there's blood on that pink top
I believe I personally.
underneath the belt where her little hands are.
I think
There's dried up blood.
I think Summer has already passed away. I think this child right here is passed away already.
Definitely.
And in my opinion, Candace took these brown boxes out of that vehicle, and I believe she put a black toad in there, and she took this kid right down to Fred Hill's house, where I believe they put Summer in the tote, and I think that's where Cotton Simpson seen her her in the tote, and then they put the tote back up in the back of the seat and went down out of Ben Hill Road when she was following Chad Arnold. And I believe they went straight across that road and put this baby down inside that
Straight into
red.
it. Yep.
And that's why Dom Wells felt so secure about her not ever being found. He said she wouldn't ever be found. Like he wanted to pat himself
There's
on the back.
no evidence. You'll never find any evidence. There's no
Exactly.
evidence to be found.
And when he was saying that to this guy that came up on the hill, Candus wouldn't let all the way up on the hill. He had to go down and meet the guy at the bottom. But while he was standing there talking to that man, if you took note, Don Wells was bragging and everything. He looked past that guy straight over towards Morrison Cemetery as he was talking. Go back and watch the clip. You'll see for yourself what I'm talking about.
I will. I'm going through your lives now. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah, we've been here for a minute. We've been here. It took us a long time to get to where we're at today.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it took a long, long time to get here.
Gee,
But
you're funny on panel. You've had me in stitches. I couldn't stop laughing.
you know, back in the
And
day,
then Janet contacted me and she said, "You coming to watch PG?" And I said I didn't even realise she was live because I was already watching you.
oh yeah, I back in the day it was a lot of fun. You know, when we first started YouTube and everything, it was, it was like being on a school playground, right? A grade school playground. That's what it was like. It's like, grade school
It
playground.
just gets it's just the case
Everybody
is getting tiring, PG. That's all it is.
everybody going at
It's gone
everybody,
on. Yeah, it's gone on for so long
but
that
it's not fun anymore because
it's tiring and
well,
it's made everyone angry.
the people who like to dish it out can't take it back. At way back, at the beginning, that's the way it was out here. If you like, say me and Benny Keys, are beefing, he gives and he takes. I give and I take, and that's how it should be. But you got these other ones that want to give and they don't want, they don't know how to take it back, and
I
they
want to
get
know how.
a little
I want to know
angry.
how did Bob Ross insert herself into the case.
Who?
Bob Ross, I'm going to call her
Bob.
Curly Locks.
Oh.
She inserted herself right into Rose Bly's case
Lazy
and
Lucy
Summer's
Lisa.
case.
Oh, lazy Lucy Lisa.
Yeah,
Try saying
she
that 5
wants to. She
times.
wants to. She's very worried and thinks that I don't like her. It's not that I don't like her.
Well, I'm telling you what, I
I'm
don't.
very suspicious of her.
I don't like
I
her.
want to
I don't
know.
like her at
I
all.
want to know why she inserted herself into the case.
Well, she
How
inserted
does she? She calls Candus Candy.
she
She
inserted
calls.
herself in this case because she had something to do with Rose Bly's husband, and she was
I
really
don't believe that for the life of me.
she was into she was into the Rose Bly case, and she inserted herself
Lips brought her over, didn't she?
No, actually, no. She was hanging with Wisconsin Mama because
Okay.
Wisconsin Mama was talking to her about Rose Bly's case, and she acted like she knew everything about Rose Bly's case. And Wisconsin Mama had a son who supposedly, on the night before Rose disappeared, had went to a sheriff's house that was hanging out with some Indian guy. And he went there because Rose supposedly had been dating the sheriff. And he saw that her car was there, so he stopped and went in. And he said they were upstairs, and he went up the staircase to see where Rose was. And the sheriff told him that Rose wasn't there, but he said there was a real bad stench, and that the sheriff and the Indian guy was rolling up a carpet, and there was a
Oh, okay.
smell in the place. And he said that he just told him okay because he had people down there waiting on him. And he went back down and out the door, and Rose's car was there. And he went ahead and left, didn't think nothing more of it. And then the next day, he heard that Rose was missing, that nobody could find her. And he said, that he went to law enforcement, but supposedly somehow when he went and, to law enforcement and talked to him about what he knew and what he had seen, the report that he made had came up missing, and they couldn't find it. And supposedly he went back later, and that's how he found out that that they don't have no report like that or anything like that on file. And and then he supposedly got scared, thinking if they can do away with the report, they could do away possibly with him or whatever. So he just didn't want to talk about it no more or say nothing else about it no more. And this is what Wisconsin Mama was telling me. And yes, I do have it on recording. And that's why, and that's what Lisa was trying to get out of Wisconsin Mama, but Wisconsin Mama said she wasn't, going to tell Lisa anything, that she didn't, that Lisa was trying to, wanting to talk to her son, and she wasn't going to let Lisa talk to her son or anything else, that she didn't like Lisa and her son don't want to talk to Lisa. And, that she wished Lisa would go away and leave her the hell alone and her family alone. And then next thing I
I thought
know,
I thought she actually knew the Wells.
no. And then the next thing I know, Wisconsin Mama and Lisa are working together trying to figure out who I am. And I'm like, what? Yeah. They're trying to figure out who PG is. And
Oh, wish people would give that up.
yeah, Wisconsin Mama, actually, Lisa told on Wisconsin Mama. She said that Wisconsin Mama was the one asking her to pry into my business to find out who I was. And I let it go. I still kept Wisconsin Mama and everything. And then I was talking to Wisconsin Mama at one point, and she was telling me a story about her son. And she said that her son had a stepdaughters, married this woman. The woman already had some kids, and said that that one of those kids put her son in prison. I said, how did one of those kids put your son in prison? She said one of the girls accused her son of SAing her. And I said, well, did he? And, she said, no. And I said, how do you know that? How do you know that? And then she told me that, I said, where did he supposedly do this at? And I guess he had took the little girl out somewhere, like in a wooded area, and, to pick apples or pick something. I can't remember now exactly what they were out there doing, but they were out here in this wooded area doing something. And he violated the little girl, and the little girl told on him. And the little girl had him put, they had him put in prison. And Wisconsin mama, I said, how could they, they don't put somebody in prison if there's not, solid proof that he did it. I said, they're not going to give your boy 20 years in prison if they don't have solid proof that, they had to have DNA. They had to have something damn good to put your boy in there for 20 fucking years. I
Well,
mean, don't sound to me like this little girl's lying. And she said that that they called, that the girl had a child by her son too, and she talks to her grandchild, and she said the little girl got on the phone and said, how's it going, Grandma? And she told her, don't call me Grandma. I'm not your grandma. And got real ugly with that little girl who had been violated by her son. She victimized a victim. And at that point, I really just didn't want nothing else to do with her. I wanted nothing else to do with her. I'm like, I can't do this because, see, I'm working to protect children. I'm working to protect that little girl that called you grandma. I'm working for her. That is the victim right there. And that right there is who, I work for. I am against the mother freakers, the suspects like your son. I'm against these people. I think he's right where he belongs. And this little girl has many years that she's going to need a lot of counseling, a lot of help, and a lot of, compassion, kindness, caring, and love to get past what this sick fuck done to her. And she, she's been victimized. And, and hopefully she becomes victorious, in all of this. But, it takes a long time, for victims to reach victory, right? And
yeah,
and the last thing, and it's a setback when you see people like her victimizing them, after they've already been victimized by the creep that did it. So, I just couldn't, I could not support that anymore. I could not support that anymore, and I'm not going to support that. And
oh, I
you know,
don't blame you.
and that relates
No
to
one
my son.
supports it. No one supports that kind of behavior.
Oh, hell no, hell no. And
No woman should settle for anything than what they're worth.
let me tell you, and that
You
little
should
girl got
never
on that
set. You
phone.
should never let the moment a man abuses you in any shape or form, raises their voice at you, lifts their hand at you, or mistreats you in any way, you give them. You Mum used to say, "Willie wish the weaver." Do you remember that saying?
What did she say?
Willie wish the weaver.
No, I
In
ain't
other
heard
words,
that.
get rid of him.
I'm going to tell you what. If that would have been Wisconsin mama's granddaughter that got done that way, she'd want that son of a bitch in prison. She'd want him right where he was. But it wasn't her granddaughter. It wasn't, anything to her, and she didn't care, what her boy did to somebody else's granddaughter, somebody else's daughter, somebody else's child. And she didn't care. And I don't got nothing for people like that. Nothing for people. I'm going to tell you now. I hope to God that, I ain't never in a situation like that. But if I was ever put in a situation like that, and say, in the future, I was in a situation where one of my children did something as evil as that to another child, God forbid. But I'm going to tell you what, I'd say lock that son of a bitch up, throw away the fucking key. And I'm
Me
so
too.
sorry. I'm so sorry that they, that I even brought such evilness to this earth. I have to apologize for even,
Me too. Yep.
having a child like that. You know, I would have to say I'm so sorry. That's the truth. Bitch, that ain't a lie. I got the you would you like me to play the mother freaking recording, Wisconsin mama? You got your ass in here. Would you like me to play the fucking recording? I'll play the recording right out your own damn mouth talking about how you victimized this little girl that your son already victimized. Okay? They ain't gonna stick your son in jail for 20 fucking years if he didn't do nothing. They're not gonna put his ass in jail like that. That mother freaker still ain't out. He still ain't out. Okay? Oh, I do have a clue. I do have a clue. Came right out your own face. I have a clue. You are a backbiting, two-faced, mother freaking piece of shit that victimized a little girl who your son victimized. You're sick, man. You're disgusting and you're freaking sick. You need to call that little girl and you need to apologize to her. You need to tell her you're sorry for what you've done. You're
Yes.
fucking evil.
I agree.
And then your ass is still in here right now. You got the audacity to show your face up in my motherfucking chat where we don't put up with bitches like you, nor people like your son. You still got the audacity to come over here and try to still take up for this son of a bitch that was evil enough to touch a little girl. Get the fuck out of here. You got a fucking Don Wells. You got a fucking Don Wells, lady. And you're no better than Pam Wells or Candus Wells or anyone else that sits there and fucking condones what these evil bastards do. You're sick. Get the fuck out of here. You just got a steel-toe boot into PG's hell. There you go. The fucking hell out of here. I don't put up with Satan, bitch. I don't have to. I don't have to put up with evilness. There you go. The fuck out of here. Go back over there to Lisa. Go over there to Lisa and freaking kiss on her backside. She understands it because she was sitting over there taking up for somebody at the church that touches little girls too. You are a bunch of sick fuckers. The reason you're turd pop suckers because you ain't no fucking better than the people doing that shit. Of course you're going to take up for Don and Candus Wells and all their sickness because you're fucking just as sick as they are in the head. You sit around and condone these people that do this shit. I don't condone motherfuckers like that. I don't condone them. I think they should be in prison for the rest of their freaking lives. If you ask me, I don't think the taxpayers should have to keep mother freakers like that up. So you know where I think they should be, right?
Exactly.
There you
And I can't believe anyone would support Don and Candace.
I'm going to tell you what.
They are straight. They're going straight to hell when they die.
I do not believe there's any room in this world for sick people who touch little children. That's my opinion.
Those two are going straight to hell. That's my opinion.
And you know what?
Those two make me sick, and I can't believe that anyone would support them after the filth that has come out of their mouth on the internet in front of your eyes for everybody to see.
And you
They
know
couldn't
how I feel.
even remember their daughter's birthday.
Girl, they can go straight to hell.
The 4th of February 2016.
They can go straight to hell. That's what I
Do
think.
you remember when Molly Golightly asked them Summer's date of birth?
I want to tell you, I love that woman. I absolutely loved her. I adored her.
I love her too. I think she was wonderful.
I absolutely adored Molly. And I'm going to tell
And
you.
I love Bullhorn Betty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love JLR.
You know, they are for, at the end of the day, they are truly for these missing kids. They are truly for them. And I appreciate that. And I have all respect for it. I have all
If it wasn't for Chris McDonough, we wouldn't know the living conditions that they were living in.
Oh my gosh,
And
I'm
if
gonna
it
tell you
wasn't for Bullhorn Betty and for Molly Golightly
right?
and for a
Boy,
lot of the others, we wouldn't have seen
they really
the
stirred the pot.
the
Oh, Candace and Donald
this.
with the spoon, didn't they?
Hey, we got to see their living environments. We got to see the surroundings, the streets around the area, the people around the area.
Yeah.
We got to see a lot of it, like people from across the across the nation, like from Australia and that, that don't know what Tennessee looks like, don't know what a holler is. We get to see.
Oh, you all don't have no hollers?
Oh no,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
no, we don't have hollers. No, I don't know what we call them. We call them dead end roads here, I suppose.
A holler isn't anything but a holler basically isn't anything but an old dirt road leading back into nowhere.
We've
That's
got
basically,
we've got dirt roads that go out. We call it into bumfuck nowhere.
yeah, see? Big difference. The same thing, but just a different term for it.
Yeah, but no, we haven't got a holler. We've got a massive part of Australia that's the outback Australia, like where this little boy has gone missing now, Gus Lamont, the poor little baby.
Hey, Lady Q, how are you tonight, sweetie? Good to see you. God bless.
We've got a little 4-year-old boy, PG, that went missing on the 27th of September. Big blue eyes, blonde curly hair.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Did
Um,
you find him?
no, they can't find him anywhere. They searched and searched, found one boot, 500 meters from where he was playing in the sandpit.
Do, do they believe?
They've
Do
done
they?
drone search. They've done everything. They've had the dogs out there. They can't find him anywhere. The parents aren't talking. They're all remaining. They're working with law enforcement behind the scenes, but they won't talk to the media. But things like that in Australia are kept quiet. That's probably how they wrap up a lot of things quickly because they don't get YouTubers involved. Well,
Right.
they already are. You can't stop that from happening. But what I'm trying to say, they try and keep the investigation hush hush.
Right.
But it looks like Jack and Lily's case, like
Mhm.
Summer's case. The kid's just gone poof.
Do they believe that? Do they believe it was an abduction, or do they believe foul play?
They've got no. They're not saying anything.
Right. Oh, they got something. But
They're
you're
keeping
right.
it tight to the belt. That's what I'm trying to say.
I sure hope. I sure hope that was you said the
They
child
they've they've wrapped. They
child
did. They they
the
called
child
the
is five
search
years
off.
the child is
They
5 years old.
four.
Four
He's
years
4
old.
or 5. He might be
And
5.
the child and is the child like is the child normal? Is it a normal child starting kindergarten?
I read his he might have um
Autism?
yeah, autism. He might be autistic, but not badly.
And seeing that the shoe was gone,
But
you know,
the father didn't. The father left the marriage because he doesn't agree that because his ex-wife's mother is transgender. He didn't agree with it, so he left the situation. He didn't find out that his little boy was missing until a couple of days later.
And it sounds like that. It sounds to me like he's using his ex-wife's mother as an excuse to be gone. Because when he got with his ex-wife, he would have known what her mother was then, and he still decided to, you know, be in
But
the
even
situation
even even
for
the
five
wife,
for 5
none
years.
of them, none of them are looking after the little boy. It was the grandmother, the transgender woman, who was raising the little boy, and it was a state of origin or some kind of
Oh,
football
was this a little
football
boy?
grand final.
Was this the little boy that disappeared out of the backyard of his grandmother's? Was it
Well,
out back of the grandmother's house where he disappeared?
I suppose that you could call it a backyard, but it's big open country, big
Yeah,
desert.
I think I heard about that case. The little boy was out back,
Horrible.
supposedly playing, and he just disappeared, out of
He was
nowhere.
playing. He was playing in a sand pit not
Yeah,
far from the house,
yeah, they are thinking foul play in that. They
and
are.
they were all watching the footy.
They're thinking foul play in that. Matter of fact, they got their eyes on that grandmother. To my understandings,
They they had a house full of people watching the football, and when when everything had finished, so
right.
it could have been anyone that was there that day.
Yeah, yeah. And they somehow, some reason,
Poor
I
little
do
baby, he
believe
was gorgeous.
the grandmother's story wasn't adding up in all of that. I remember. I mean, I was just touching on the case, like not really into it, just um, basically, how you surf stuff.
It's hard to find.
Um,
It's hard to find any information on the case because they've only got the news. They've only got the
it's
media
more
come out
local.
with.
They're keeping it more local than worldwide.
Yeah, that they won't release any information. And
Right.
you've got people that are now coming up with AI photos, trying to say that there was a photo that went out and started circulating with him in somebody's arms getting into a truck, and it was the police put out a big report about it, telling everyone that it's not true, that it's
Right.
all doctored.
Right.
I but they're telling everyone it's a recovery now. It's definitely not.
She said, "I
It's
just
a
started with
reco-
my daughter."
It's a recovery mission now, unless the little boy was kidnapped.
It's hard to say in a case like that with the shoe. If the child was normal, like
There are a
completely,
lot of weirdos that live out there.
completely normal child with the shoe left behind, I'd say someone drug him off. Um,
Yeah, I
and
think so too.
but also, he could have been farther out. He could have been farther out, and they were dragging him back. Grandma could have, went and got him and was dragging him back and accidentally,
Someone could have run him over,
she could have struck him too hard. What people don't understand, man, is it don't take much
and
to,
especially and they live on a
unlive.
sheep. They live on a. They live on a sheep farm, and they've got all the dangerous equipment in the shed. Anything could have happened to him.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Dangerous animals. And there was this big hole in the ground. They were
I don't
looking
know.
down.
I don't know if that was a fake Don Wells or not. I'm not sure because he has been making his rounds. He's been going to people's chats saying stuff, so I don't know. I don't know
I'd love to have a piece of Don.
if it was him or it wasn't. You know,
I'd love to tell Donald Wells off.
yeah, you know,
Foul mouth bastard he is.
I I can't understand why
He
law
threatened to
enforcement
stab
have.
he threatened to stab Josh in the neck.
I'm surprised. I am surprised that law enforcement has not put them in prison. I think it's wrong that they don't let children testify. And, I think it's wrong that they make deals with these essayers. And instead of letting the children testify and put them in prison where they belong, so they
Can't
can't murder
can't they charge him for what that he said about the sex tape?
You know what is wrong with the system? You want to know what's wrong with the system? I tell you what's wrong with the system. The problem with this fucking system is that they want to protect the child that they like for instance, the Wells children. They want to protect the Wells children by letting Don and Candace go with SA, according to Jinkies. They want to let them go with SA charges to save the kids. Sign the kids away, and we'll drop everything. We just want to protect these children, but they're not protecting the children, the other children that Candace might get around by getting with another man who has kids. They're not
Is
protecting the
she
children that Dom Wells might get around by getting with another woman who has children. She has no idea that Donald Wells, has this long history of this kind of shit because a lot of women don't look up their men. They're not that smart to, run his ass and find out exactly what they're getting themselves mixed up in. And you're not protecting, and then some women might run him and still not care. I mean, you've got some women, like that too. They don't even care about, protecting their kids. So, and law enforcement's not protecting them kids because if they were going to protect those kids, they would have let the first kids testify and put these essayers in mother freaking prison where they can't get with no one else and can't be touching no other children. They're not protecting all children, they're just protecting some children, and all children need to be protected. And that's why it's important, to change the law and start letting these kids have a voice against these people who do this kind of evilness to them. It should be
yeah,
it should be what they call a closed court case where these kids get to testify and put these sick people, these sick essayers, away for life
yeah,
and protect all children, not some children. It's
yeah.
bullshit. It's just bullshit.
It is bullshit. Anyway, PG, I better get off the panel.
Hey, girl, I'm going to tell you, I'm about to close up.
Congratulations
Hey, I
too.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Absolutely. We appreciate all the support and love and kindness and caring that we're,
You mate,
that we're
he's
receiving.
he's a lucky man to have you.
Hey, I'm lucky too. I'm lucky too. He's a good man. He's a very good man. He waited a long time. He's waited a long time, almost almost 5 years, right? Almost 5 years. All of my bullshit, holding
Well,
and holding him off,
at
and
least you know he's the right one then.
hey, if somebody wait on you that long and put up with you,
Exactly.
what I put the poor guy through, he's a keeper. He's a keeper, right?
That's good to hear.
Yeah, he's he's a really good guy. We're
Anyway, you send
we're going to be getting with we're going to be visiting up and getting with Ronald's family um over
Oh,
Christmas.
that's nice.
Yeah, Ronald and his family invited us for Christmas this year. So my kids are really
That's
excited.
nice.
Really excited. They're already packing and planning and we're just really happy. So we're gonna all go and hang with them through
That's nice, PG.
break. We're gonna head out there and probably
We're
stay.
not having we're not having Christmas this year. We got told I got a message, a phone call from the real estate the other day, and they're selling the house from underneath us, and
What?
they want us out before they're going to let us go out of the lease anytime if we find something, but we've got to be out by the end of the lease. So
Wow.
I had to cancel my Christmas.
Oh wow, where are you going?
I'm just going to stay locally, but um I won't be having Christmas with my dad. I'm really upset about that
So sorry to
because
hear.
because he's old, and
Right.
um him and I have broken ground lately, and become really close. We've made headways with a lot of
Right.
things that we've had. um I've had a lot of trouble with him in the past, and yeah, we've had a lot of forgiveness, made breakthroughs,
I'm glad to hear that, girl. God,
and he prays with me on the phone.
right.
He's a wonderful dad, and I'm just going to miss him.
Amen.
But I'll get myself into a house. Then as soon as I've got everything settled, I'll go over to New Zealand and see him, which will be a good holiday for me too.
Do
Get
you ever
me out of Australia for a while.
do you ever think of maybe moving over to where he's at so you could be closer to him?
Oh, don't know, because then if I leave here, then I'm leaving my brother, my
Oh,
niece, my kids.
right. Right. Oh, I thought your kids would go with you.
Oh gosh, they'll follow me anywhere.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
wish they'd get married. I wish they'd meet someone.
it sounds like
Oh,
it sounds like your immediate family's right there with you and that you would miss them very much if you didn't stay.
we're we're not close, like we're not in close vicinity of each other, but we are all very close, as
Doesn't
in
your
we love each
doesn't
other.
doesn't your daughter live with you?
Maddie lives with me, Jono lives with me, but my niece is um a 5 hour flight by plane, and
Right.
my brother is an 8 hour flight by plane.
Oh wow.
Australia is huge.
Yeah. It sounds like
Yeah,
it.
like yeah. And I can't move back there because the rent for a 3 bedroom house in Queensland ranges from $700 a week to 1,000.
Oh wow.
No one can afford that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
do they allow you to buy your own homes there?
Well, I'm trying to. I was looking into that. I was looking into buying this house that I'm in now, but they want $20,000 deposit, and I haven't got enough time to save that amount of money up so quickly. But
Right.
if I start saving, I'll be able to do it in a couple of years. So I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sick of I'm sick of not I'm sick of being shoved out of my home because the owner wants to sell.
exactly, exactly. You know, it doesn't. I mean, it's better to own. It's better to own a one-room shack and it be yours than
Yep,
a mansion that ain't.
yep. I did own a beautiful home, but I got with the wrong guy. He got himself into debt and everything was in my name. So when he took off, I was left with so much debt to pay. I had to sell the house and
Right,
pay the debts outright and then pay off the bank loan. But I owned a beautiful home once upon a time.
right, right. Yeah, if I
But
tell you, you get with the wrong person, you get with the wrong
yeah,
person, you could lose
yeah.
everything. You could lose it all.
That's why I've been single ever since. That was a long time ago, and uh,
Right. Oh
I'm
yeah,
not.
that can make you stay single.
I will. It will take Prince Charming to pull my walls down.
Wow.
I won't settle for any less than what I deserve.
uh, you know, they have, I don't know about there, but here they have, prenuptial agreements where, you can sign
Yeah, I should have done that
and,
with him. I
and the
should have
man,
done it with him.
right, the man can
Mum,
take nothing of
mum,
yours.
t-
You
yeah,
can't
mum
take
told me to
nothing.
do it, but I didn't listen to her.
Right. I mean that, you should always talk to an attorney. I mean, if you have, anything to lose, it's best that, um and it's a two-way street. If you ask
Yeah,
them to sign one, then you should sign one for them as well.
I remember
You know,
him
it's
sitting in the
only
pool
fair.
plotting and planning to get half of my house. I remember him doing it in front of me.
The only thing that can be split, the only thing that, can be split is what you accumulate during the marriage. Whatever you accumulate during the marriage, then, it has to be split or it can go to pay,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But the
What you walk
prenuptial,
in with, you walk out with.
absolutely. And,
Yeah,
and that's, the way it is. Like I own my own home and he owns his own home. And, and that's what we were deciding is, exactly whose place are we going to live at. Right now we're staying at mine and I want to stay at mine because, um, me and my kids, we work so hard to get where we're at right now.
and your
And,
children are settled.
and it has, well, it's like our accomplishment. It's like, we work together, our accomplishment to get what we have.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to really let it go. And but you know, he's going to more than likely, rent his out. He'll probably rent his out. And
That's a good idea.
and and he don't need he definitely does not need the income, but it's extra to go into the bank. And
Oh,
and
isn't she a sweetheart? Thank you, our bucket list.
oh, absolutely, our bucket list. I appreciate it. God
Isn't
bless.
she beautiful? She's a
Yeah.
beautiful lady.
Oh, hubby, some beverages of your choice. Hey, I
Little
appreciate that. I
sweetheart.
really do. And I know he will too. We got a pizza last night. We got beverages tonight. Hey, girl, we'll have a full dinner on the table by the time we're done here. Right? God bless you. God bless you.
Anyway,
You know what you
PJ,
do.
can you give me the steel toe boot?
Absolutely, girl.
All right.
Absolutely. I hate to do it, but I will. I
Love you. God bless.
love you too. You know it, girl.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I had to give her steel-toe boots, you guys. Had to do it. All right. I love that woman. She's just a sweetheart. And I sure hope she finds a good place to live. I hope I hope she's happier. I hope she is much happier wherever she ends up next than she was where she is now. And she's very happy now. So, I can imagine how happy she'll be then. That's my prayers and wishes for her. God bless her. Yeah, I had to give her a steel toe boot, PG don't like to do that. I try to save that steel toe boot for the people who deserve it. Like freaking Wisconsin mama tonight, right? Come in here talking some trash like I ain't got the mother freaking video to back up what I say, right? I'm gonna tell you, I bring proof to the table, baby. Always bring it right out of the horse's mouth, right? I bring it out of the horse's mouth. But I held everybody up long enough tonight. I wanted to talk a little more about, about some things, but we ran out of time tonight. But um, I won't be in tomorrow night, you guys. You guys know I observe the Sabbath. I keep the Sabbath holy, or try to. I try to. So I won't be in tomorrow. God willing, we'll be back Saturday evening. After the Sabbath is over, we'll be back Saturday. But I won't be in tomorrow. I just wanted to let everybody know that from sundown to sundown is the Sabbath. The Sabbath starts Friday sundown, and it runs until sundown on Saturday. So, and I observe it. The Bible says to keep the Sabbath holy, and that we should do. So, and it's a breather. It's a breather too. I thank God. I know what God, when He said that He worked 6 days and took the seventh day to rest. I understand. Sometimes you need that rest. You need that rest. And it gives you an opportunity, to spend some time with your family, to make phone calls that you haven't made in a while to the people you love, just to check up on them, let them know you still care, you love them, and you want to know that everything's going great. It gives you an opportunity to go visit up with people you love, take a pizza, right? Take a pizza, take some hot coffee, take something, bake a cake, go visit them up, right? Don't take my brownies, but take something nice, go visit them up and hang out with them and spend some time with them. Maybe watch a movie you've been wanting to watch, read a book you've been wanting to read, just rest and do something you love to do and give your mind a break from all of everyday life, right? Give your mind a break from it all. I think that's what God wanted us to do. And it gives us time to, search ourselves and reflect on who we are and if we're doing everything right and pleasing God and doing His will instead of our own. It's just a time, that God wants us to sit down and God really wants us to rest because He's resting and He takes care of us, 24/7, 6 days a week. And He just wants us, to be resting while He's resting so that, we're not getting into anything and He can rest. That He can rest. You know how it is when your kids are running around and doing all kinds of stuff and, you usually can't rest until you got them in bed, right? Until you got your kids in bed and they're resting, then you can finally rest. And that's probably, how God's feeling, and that's probably what He wants too. He wants all of His children to rest so He can rest. And we certainly want to please God and do what God wants us to do. We're going to be in trouble if we don't. So I won't be in tomorrow. I hope everyone else observes the seventh. I hope you all observe the seventh as well. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to lead you guys to the promised land. You know, I'm not trying to lead you on that big road of destruction into Hades. I ain't doing it. I want to lead you to the righteous place. And I'm trying to get you to observe the seventh too, so that you know that you'll be in God's grace and obeying His laws as well as I am. But keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up for Summer Moon, Utah Wells, this poor little girl right here laying on those milk jugs. I'm going to tell you, from where you're sitting, from where I'm sitting, you can just look right there at the sides of her head. Just take a look right there above her ear at the side of her head, and you can tell there's something very wrong. There's something very wrong. Nobody's head turns that color for no reason. You could take a look at her little nail beds on her thumb right there and her other fingers. You can tell that something's very wrong with this picture. I do not think she was with us during this picture. I think little Summer had already took the hand of Jesus Christ and descended up into heaven with him, where she'll be, and she'll be there awaiting and meeting us as we come in the gate, letting us know how much she appreciated each one of us being a voice for her. That's what I truly believe. And keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up that we get justice for this baby. She did not deserve anything that was done to her. She's innocent. Yes, Don Wells. She went to heaven. She is in heaven, a place that you may not ever know what it looks like. But this little girl, I truly believe she does and always will. But keep those prayers going up for her. Pray that she is found soon. Pray that we all get closure, including her brothers. And pray that people who are evil enough to do this to her get put where they belong. Keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up for Michael Vaughn, Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily, and little Emmanuel. Keep them going up for the little baby disappeared in Australia. Let's keep it going up for all of these children. They need our prayers. They need our voice. And I so appreciate each and every one of you for being that voice. I appreciate you being that prayer that's reaching God's ears through His Son, Jesus Christ, for these children as well. And pray for one another. Keep those prayers going up for one another. Family that prays together stays together. So keep those prayers going up for each other as well. Know that PG is always praying for all of y'all. I'm always praying for all of y'all. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you want. But I tell God that whatever y'all are praying for, I sure hope in the name of Jesus Christ, He answers those prayers. Because I know how it feels to want someone praying for you. I know what it feels like to sit and say, God, I hope someone's praying for me. Right? I hope someone's praying. So know that I'm praying for you because I know I sure appreciate people praying for me. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.